So I'm in my studio today and I want to take you guys through 5 tips that I have for shooting still life product photography. And I guess the aim with these tips is to help you guys out if you're feeling like you're in a creative rut, you just don't know where to start with a scene. I know sometimes, actually this happens to me often, I just get stuck. I shoot pretty much 5 to 6 days a week and it's a lot. It's a lot of creative energy that you're giving to your products. And so sometimes I just need a little nudge, a little kick, a little concept, an idea, just to help me get started on a scene to then move forward with the project. So I hope these tips help, and I'm going to be really taking you behind the scenes into my studio today and showing you how I style and photograph a couple of different product photography scenes. And if you're new here and you're interested in brand photography or being a brand photographer, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I release a new video every Sunday night, and go and follow me over on Instagram at Campeanu. I share a lot of behind the scenes content on my stories. I also have like 6 highlight reels of like 100 stories each that shows you a lot of my behind the scenes footage. So go and follow me over on there, but let's get stuck into the video. All right, so the first tip for shooting still life product photography is to play with your light. So I've got a big softbox at the back of me here, and I also have another light right here beside me. This is a Godox SL60W, and I've got it on harsh. Now I prefer personally to work with artificial light because I don't really get the best natural light in my 2-bedroom apartment because my studio is my 2nd bedroom. And so I need artificial lights to help me mimic natural sunlight, and that's what these lights do. So my main niche is shooting beauty and skincare, and I find that I don't like using too many props when I'm styling, but I would rather play with light to help create more depth and interest in the photo. I think for skincare especially, we want to keep it nice and simple and not overwhelm the scene with too many props. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes right now of a candle shoot that I'm doing. It's very minimal, it's very simple. I'm only using 1 to 2 props, but the main thing that I'm focusing on is my light, and I'm going to show you a fun little trick that will help you just bring a little bit more creativity into your scene. So let's go. Okay, so for this scene here, I have just propped up the candle on this little platform here to just give it a little bit of height. Because we are working with a reed diffuser, we want to be showing the box and the scent of the candle. We really need to separate the heights of all these objects. But that's really all I need for this scene, and what I'm going to do with this is just pop it in the corner in the foreground, just to help frame that photo a little bit more. But on the left hand side here we have something called a gobo, and this is just short for go between object. So this is a window that I've cut out from a foam board, and what it's doing is it's just casting a soft shadow in the shape of a window onto the scene. And so what this does is it helps us signify that it's a bit more of a lifestyle scene. You know, the candles are near the window, you know, it's just a little bit more interesting than just nothing. And I mean, you could do something like that and really frame up your photo as well using something like this. You know, get creative. But this is a fun little trick to use to play with light and just add more interest to your scene. Another thing I love to use is a prism. Now this doesn't suit every single client because it does create a certain effect, but they're so much fun to work with. And obviously any other kind of object that can help to create a shadow, such as a palm leaf, any other kind of plant that you might have in your home. But get creative, look at what objects you have that would create a really cool shadow effect on your product photography scene. All right, so my second tip for shooting still life product photography is to utilize mirrors and reflections, again, to create more interest and depth for your scenes. So a key prop that I always have in my kit are acrylic mirrors, and I'm gonna take you behind the scenes right now where I'm gonna show you how I utilize an acrylic mirror to create more interest in an image. So this is my scene here, and what I've done is placed that acrylic mirror in the middle of those 2 colors, the blue and the pink, just to create create a little bit more symmetry with that. And essentially what I'm going to be doing is using this palm leaf to pop into the reflection of that mirror. Now, when doing this, obviously you have to take the photo at a certain angle, and you have to have the mirror at a certain angle as well. The other thing that you could do is to have another colored backdrop back here where the palm leaf is, so that you get a solid color in that background. All right, so the other thing that you could do with this mirror is to just pop it on the ground here. And you can already see it's creating a really cool little light reflection on the background. And basically just pop your products onto the mirror. You know what, I'm just gonna keep one, I think. And it's just gonna be that. I don't need anything else. And what you could do is even like bring the palm leaf up here, so you're creating more of a shadow effect on the background, and just have a play with that light and that shadow. But you don't need any other props, you can keep it super simple. My third tip for shooting still life photography is to use textures. Now this could be textures of backgrounds, it could be texture of the product, just something that will give more texture to the shot. When you're doing smear shots, I would highly recommend to use vinyl backdrops. You can just wipe the smear right off afterwards. Otherwise, if you're using paper, you might want to use a clear acrylic sheet to put on top of the paper so that you don't destroy it. Okay, so I've got two products here. These are cream shimmer scrubs from Body Blends, and this is just a cheese knife because I love the way that it's shaped at the top here. It's very flat and it's perfect for smearing. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is just like bring out a little bit of the texture. I think that's probably enough. Oh, perfect. Okay. And what we're gonna do is just press, yes, and smear. And what I would usually do is fix up this little part in Photoshop just to make it a little bit more, I guess, perfectly imperfect. I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. Really show that texture. Textures are seriously so satisfying to work with. I mean, I could do this all day. Okay. Awesome, that's what I want. And now I'm just gonna pop the product. You know what, let's use this one. I'm just gonna pop it on top of the smear here, just covering that bottom bit. Actually, I'm gonna take a photo of that smear as it is without the product because that's just too good. All right, so that's that one done, and all I'm gonna do is do this. And, oh, that did not work that great, but basically by having the vinyl backdrop, it's not going to destroy your backdrop by smearing on it because it's so easy to get off, and you can use that straight away. You don't need any other water or anything, just tissue paper. So when it does come to your textures, really think outside the box. So for your backgrounds, you might even want to play with some stone, whether it's like terrazzo, travertine, limestone, sandstone, marble, the list goes on, but also play with the texture inside of the product. You might even want to raid your wardrobe for like linen, satin, and use that as a background or half a background, a curtain, whatever it is. Look around your home, go to fabric stores, and just see what kinds of other textures you can introduce to your image. All right, so my fourth tip for shooting still life product photography is this. This is water, but with a secret ingredient. So what's the secret ingredient? No, I'm not gonna tell you. No, I'm gonna tell you. It's glycerin. Glycerin helps your water to stick to your product. If you just sprayed water, God, this does not work. If you just sprayed water onto your product, highly likely that your water is just going to drip down the product and it's not going to look as aesthetically pleasing as it could be. You want your water droplets to stick to the product, and this is what glycerin does. You only need the tiniest amount of glycerin in your water. So let me show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray the bottle. I'm gonna give it quite a few good sprays with the glycerin water. Really get those water droplets on there. And because this is a Hydra Defense Mist product, I really want to bring out that element by spraying it with water. All right, I feel like that's probably enough. So as you can see, we've got those beautiful water droplets on that product. It's looking fabulous. And the water is actually sticking to the product itself, which is exactly what we want. Now, my fifth tip that I have for shooting still life product photography is to make your product look more powerful. And there's a little trick that we use to do this. So what you want to do is shoot from a slightly lower angle, and it makes your product look taller, more powerful, and it places more emphasis on your product. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how I do this, and then show you the final result so that you can see the visual impact that this concept has. All right, so I'm gonna pop my products up on this little pedestal here. I'm gonna have this one lying down, and then I'm gonna shoot this on 50 mil, just from a slightly lower angle. Just like twist that down a little bit so we can see the label. Yes. Love it. So good. And we're done. So I hope that those 5 tips have helped, and as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will answer them. But if you also want to know more about becoming a brand photographer and how to get your foot in the door or build a successful business, I highly recommend to go and check out my online course, Become a Brand Photographer, where I show you more behind the scenes. I show you how I edit my photos, but I also teach you the business side of running a business, because that is a key ingredient as well. Now, if you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure that you go and check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, helps a lot. And go follow me over on Instagram, where I share more behind the scenes content to help you guys with your brand photography. But other than that, I will see you in the next video.